You know what that means? I'm ready to get this show on the motherfucking road. Listen, let's get the energy up in here. Let's go, because I'm ready. Look, I'm in and out today. Okay, I got a lot going on, and I had to make sure I came in tonight. But this is tonight. We are, it's a hit and run tonight. It's a hit and run. Yeah. All right, warrior. Listen. Closing arguments are in full effect. We've been waiting on this moment. Woo! For 30 years. Yes, baby. Listen, we ain't playing. This is not no motherfucking joke. This is real life. People's lives have been truly affected in a miserable way. This man put people in a house of horrors, and mentally, if not physically, they can't escape. We need him gone. Do your time, be accountable, Mr. Kelly. Come on, jury. Let's see some energy. Bring the vibes up. Bring the frequency up. Let's see some bells, some hearts. We here for these survivors, these victims, these children, these women, these black women. Yeah. These black girls. This avatar is paying homage to the colored moons today. I don't know if y'all saw it. Shout out to the universe, to Mother Nature. Mother Divine, and Father God. We are so thankful and humble. But we are also winning. We winning, baby. Threes for the dope, because you know we about to blow. Oh, because you niggas ain't listening in first place, so don't ever ask what my position is. Queen of my city, got a key to my city, that I'll beat anybody in my city. I'm so glad to see y'all here. I didn't mean to run the song, but I see you, Pendleton. Yolanda Hall. Love Warriors here. Yeah, my queens are here. Baby Yoda is backstage. We lit. Joel Jackson, Andrew Staples, Thomas Reese is here. We're in the Queen's Quarters, y'all. And guess what? We're celebrating. We are celebrating the end of a long road with this New York Rico trial, y'all. We are here, finish line, status. Dorothy Forsythe, thank you for joining us. Yes, Beautiful Spirit is here, having my back as always. Thank you so much. Dorothy says she here for Smelly Kelly. Not Smelly Kelly. Yeah. All right, Baby Yoda. Let me bring you in. Baby Yoda's on stage, y'all. I'm glad you made it. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy pre-verdict. Yes. I'm just changing the tunes. I need energy. All right. Who else is here? Ms. Mocha. Yeah, I see you. Thank you for coming in. Listen, there's a lot of things happening on YouTube. A lot of people going live. There's a lot of interesting and noteworthy things happening. So I do appreciate your time and energy tonight. We're listen, this has been a marathon, not a sprint. And like I said, we're at the finish line with this. Yeah, Love Warrior.
What's happening, Warriors?
What happened?
Baby Yoda. We on the MF countdown to justice. Bring that fire. Yes.
Queen Keisha's in the building. Yes. Queen Quarters. Miss Ashanti Dawson. Yes. I see y'all. We are in the Queen's Quarters, and we're going to chop it up about these closing arguments, about the shenanigans outside of the courtroom. We're going to just talk about what's to come. What do we foresee? What's going on? Yolanda Hall, I don't know if I spoke to you, but welcome back. J-Man, yes. J-Man is here. Flawless Beauty, yes. Welcome back. Okay, let me get y'all up here. How y'all feeling? COVID free, I hope. All right, Sharita Michelle. Yes. And I'm going to say hey to Pendleton again because I can. And that's my girl. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad to see y'all here because I need this energy. We need this engagement and this conversation. Okay? We got to come together in times like this. Bringing our energies together, universal community right here with the same mindset with regard to the outcome of this trial. For the most part, not everybody might agree. Some people might be coming in the bushes who don't agree, and that's okay because you might learn some things coming in here. So sit tight and hang out. Just making sure I greet everybody before we press go. Thank you for your patience. And for those of you in the replay, if you feel like you got to come in my chat to tell me my intro is too long, I'm going to dispute that because my intro is actually only 8 seconds long. What you're witnessing is the vibe. When you're in a live, it's a experience. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the replay, you can drag that red bar to where you want to be. But I say catch these vibes. Good day. I heard you were looking for Here I Go, Here I Go. I don't know if I get that, but I like it. It sounds like there's a joke there. Robert Keller. Yeah, the transcript king. in the building. Yulita, you made it. Good to see you. Yes, you are here on time for closing arrangement. You call them closing arrangements. Okay. Okay. I'm always looking for you. Good day. I'm always looking for a good day. Goldie Bay. Yes. Kings and Queens, Mississippi Mama. Hello to you. Yes. Aisha Stockton is here too. Mm-hmm. Shaw baby number one. We have to reemphasize that. Yes. She said Kelly, excuse me. Kelly is going home, back to jail in Chicago. I can appreciate that. Thank you for reminding us, because some people do need to be reminded of that. There's people in the streets celebrating right now, y'all. Dancing to his music, projecting his homecoming. J-Man, countdown to conviction. Yeah. Can you believe it's hours from conviction? My mind couldn't imagine being here in 2019. Right. It felt a long way away, but we made it. Yeah, we made it. I know, right? I agree. Like, we didn't even know when I came on YouTube, we didn't even know there was going to be a New York trial. We didn't know there was going to be, I think at that time, there weren't any indictments as of yet. So yeah, this thing unfolded and we've been here for this ride. And we got a real close up and personal view of the House of Horrors. And I think that's actually a light term for this madness that he put these people through. I'm just glad that they're holding his feet to the fire. And I do pray that the jury, has some common sense. I mean, let's, think about our children, our grandchildren, and even ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, if we had help or confidence that we could be helped, things would have been different. We have to set the example. If you want to make change in the world, you got to start with being the change. Yeah. Okay. I'm loving all the bells, the energy. I'm soaking it all in, y'all, because like I said, it's a hit and run. But yes, Deliberation Eve. I love it. It goes with my theme of every day is Christmas up in this bitch. Every day was Christmas. You cannot say we weren't in shock and awe and disgust, or all three at the same damn time, every single day during this 22-day, what are we calling this? Ponderosa. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, the flow slowed down some. That's okay. I'm charged up. All right, lasting impressions. It's so good to see you. Wow, Wayne, you made it. Yes. Daddy's girl's here too. All right. I feel like we good to go. We good to go. Yes, the quarters are full. Goldie Bay, yes. I love the vibe too. I appreciate you. You guys actually lend to the vibe. So, I appreciate y'all being here so much.
Goddess, I'm glad you're speaking on this journey that you undertook almost months away from almost 3 years. A lot of us have been here from the beginning with you. Of course, like you said, it's not over. You still have a little bit more to go, but we winning. And it's just like you said, the countdown is justice. Appreciate all the work you put in. I appreciate all the warriors.
Yes.
That have been here with us.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
have been through it. Okay. But we have stood on our morals, our principles, everything you spoke about. We have stood our ground. Never wavered, never fainted, never bent, never folded, baby.
Never, ever, ever. That's right.
Here.
We are here. Karen J, welcome back. All right, I'm just making sure we get through, because I might not come back to this chat now. Ronnie Lyles, Jasundria Pearson, hello to you. Mandy Land. Oh yeah, they fools for celebrating that man. You're right. They over there celebrating, like literally dancing in the damn streets, heckling the prosecution, and I would say also heckling the defense attorneys, because from the video I saw of the harassment, they have now a slight clue of what Kelly, what him and his enterprise have been up to, because that's all they are, is an extension of his enterprise. Yeah, meaning those YouTubers that are supporting him outside that courthouse. That's my take on it. Love it or leave it, baby. We support, yes, we do, Flawless. Absolutely. Much love to you and your mom, for sure. And please, I hope she knows that we so appreciate her courage. Man, I'm getting choked up because, like, that's really important what she did. Very important what they have all done. And this is not only for this moment, this is for the future. These are for the children who are going through this right now. These are for the children who will be going through this, because there will be children that are going to go through this. Children that aren't even born yet will be going through this. So we got to make sure we have a space, and that we make space and we hold space for these children to be able to speak their truth, or hopefully stop what's happening, because they have a worth about themselves and a knowledge that this has happened to people in the past, and it didn't have to,
Thank you so much. Flawless, we love you. So much love we send it to you. Your mother, she's a warrior queen, and so are you, and all of the victims and those that have survived. You survivors. It's time to heal. Everything that you have been through is coming to the end. Thank you.
And Flawless, I agree with them both. Your mom is a brave soul. Bless her heart and her bravery. You can let her know that we love and we support her over here. We don't know. I mean, I don't know her personally, but again, we're proud of her.
Absolutely. And we also respect her. Please
Exactly.
let her know. I don't know, Flawless, is it okay? I mean, I don't, people are asking who your mom is. I think it's okay. I can say she is a Jane Doe. A very, they're all very important, but I would say that her strength, there was a shift, I would say. We actually, I think, literally saw a shift from victim to survivor, I think.
Absolutely.
In the moments of her truth. Okay. She says it's okay. So Javante, right? I don't remember the Jane Doe number, but the brave woman Javante. Can I say her last name? Is it okay to say her last name? They've been saying it, I think. She said it's okay. Javante, I'll just say Javante. I think everyone knows at this point, but very brave to come out in the first place to let us know what she saw and witnessed with respect to Aaliyah and that monster. But then to come back after she's able to, find the strength to tell her own truth also. Letting us know that she herself had also, been a victim. So, like I said, I think in those moments, though, we saw the shift to survivorhood. And I feel that she, along with the others, will definitely help others walk this path. Beautiful spirit.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday, Warriors.
Yes. Happy Thursday.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Let me know when you finish talking to Flawless Beauty, because I have something I want to say too as well.
Please chime in.
Okay, Flawless Beauty, baby girl, I'm TT Kim. They are the baby girls to me, but I love you genuinely, and I know I haven't met you, but your energy is awesome, and I think you get it from your mother, which you are a warrior. I always been saying a prayer for all of the survivors and their families since day one, since I've been keeping up with this case. And I commend you. I salute your mother. You tell her, you go, girl. And it's good that we took a stance and we started somewhere. And we are the voice and the support for the ones that don't have a voice. And then they'll know and get their strength as well and make a way for the other ones. So you be proud. She raised a beautiful young lady. You're a queen. And that's all I got to say.
Yes, thank you for that. For sure. Yeah, this is a definitely, we thing, not a me thing, I feel like this community is very important. And as I said, it provides strength. Y'all remember the octopus, right? With the tentacle, the enterprise. Well, it kind of works the same way, honestly. Not necessarily saying that there's a head, so to speak, but I think I look at the head as just, honestly, just God. The tentacles reach out and do their work through others, so all over, everywhere. So I accept the camaraderie and the support and the sisterhood, the brotherhood. There's brothers out there too. And we are definitely here for the long haul and the long run. But in this specific situation for this New York trial, I'm definitely breathing sighs of relief and excitement too for its end.
I agree. We have developed like an internet, relationship with each other, and it's a good connection. It's a good bond. You guys definitely gave me a lot of strength and confidence in a lot of areas and ways. And I think we all can pat ourselves on the back, and we all can crown ourselves and be, and say, hey, we did it. And we're still gonna go, we're gonna finish the race.
Oh yeah. We already there. We just waiting to see what the judges decide when they put them numbers up.
Yeah.
But I think the prosecution finished strong. We'll get into all of that, of course. I just want to make sure I'm hitting everything here, because honestly, after we start getting into the stuff, the news clips and the articles and the chatter, I may not come back into the chat. So just making sure.
And y'all not getting rid of us. God is Don Speaks and the Warriors, because even after the trial, we might not come every day, but we still gonna be here. So y'all stuck with us. So that's that.
Thank you for that. We have a lot of new subscribers. Shout out to my new subscribers here. Our new subscribers. Welcome. And for sure.
And I salute the men in our that support us. They are warrior teams. And I salute y'all, but even the ones that's coming out engaging and commenting stuff, because before it was like all women. So we need more men in this fight, y'all. And I salute y'all and appreciate y'all. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, M. Edwards, welcome. Yes, thank you.
And I need a replacement.
Mr. Andrew, Robert Keller, Wild Wayne, J-Man, everybody.
Yes.
Baby Yoda said, get it up here.
I ain't listening to Baby Yoda with that talk now.
She know I'm just kidding. Yes, we appreciate everybody.
Yes.
Now we raised you, God is done.
That's right. I raised you.
Oh wow. Let's get into this first news clip. We got closing arguments, y'all. Oh, you know what? I can't start my live without my my intro now. I need my intro.
Now your intro too long, Chad. You gonna be
Listen, I need this intro.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Loving this light. Here's God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
I'm the professional. I used to do this thing right. So peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back. I am Goddess Dawn, the motherfucking warrior. I'm here with my queens, my warrior queens. Yes, they're on stage with me, and the warriors are in the chat. Yes, and if you in the replay and in the trees looking through, guess what? You a warrior too, like it or not. I'm telling you, yes, you are, because you know what's up. But yeah, so I'm coming to you live from LA, and we're again here talking about today's Rico Kelly trial proceedings. Closing arguments were in full effect, and I understand they're wrapping up tomorrow. Is that right? Or I was hearing different things. They closed tomorrow. They open. Yes,
they finished tomorrow. They took a break at the end of the day.
All right.
She ought to be on in the morning.
Yes. Okay. That's what I want to hear. Let's keep this thing moving. So let's get into it. let's get into the first little news clip. I got a news clip, maybe two. One that I didn't do yesterday that I had up with Jim D. And, we'll talk about it all. This one has Greenberg in it, y'all. Just a heads up. You may have seen it, but.
Greenberg.
Over a month of testimony and 50 witnesses called to the stand. Now, the trial involving the United States versus Robert Kelly is winding down. I'm joined by former R. Kelly attorney Stephen Greenberg. Welcome to BNC Live, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. When can we expect a verdict?
R. Kelly in the case, the federal case here in Illinois, as well as the Illinois state cases. So former's a little premature, as they say. I don't know when we're going to get a verdict in this case. The defense is going to argue this afternoon. The prosecution, I suspect, will argue tomorrow and probably take another 2 or 3 hours. They've already gone on for 6 hours. And then the question is whether the judge is going to want to give the case to the jury on a Friday afternoon, whether the defense is going to jump up and down to prevent that from happening. I would never want a case like this to go out to a jury on a Friday afternoon.
Why?
And it's also unclear if she's going to sequester the jurors.
Why is that? Why would you not want the case?
Well, she just hasn't announced.
No, I'm sorry. Why would you not want the case to go to the jury on a Friday?
Well, you never want a case, whether you think you're winning or you're losing. You never want a case to go to the jury where they're sort of going to feel that pressure to get out for the weekend. Now, if the judge is going to sequester the jurors, it's less of a concern because then she'll bring them in to deliberate on Saturday. But if she's not going to do that, you don't want them to start talking about the case. And I don't expect that they're going to reach a verdict very quickly. So you don't want them to start talking about the case and then go home and individually sleep on it for the weekend. That's just dangerous.
How unique is this trial, Attorney Greenberg?
I think it's a complete abuse of the Rico statute. So in that regard, it's unique. You know what the prosecutors told the jurors in closing argument, and I think this is legally incorrect, was that as long as R. Kelly had people around him, because an enterprise can be formal or informal, it doesn't have to be an actual business structure. So as long as he had these people around him, and there were others, that anything he did individually can satisfy the Rico predicate acts. Basically, what the prosecutors are arguing to this jury is that anybody that has friends, anybody that has family, anybody that associates with other people and commits a crime is violating Rico. And I just think that's totally improper.
All right, Attorney Greenberg, you were a long-standing attorney with R. Kelly prior to asking a judge to be removed from the case. Why?
Well, I don't want to get into what led up to that or problems we had within the defense. I will say that I think some of it has been borne out during the trial where things weren't done and witnesses weren't lined up and so forth. Let's see what happens here, and then we'll address those things if need be.
So how do you think R. Kelly's defense was?
Well, again, I don't want to comment on it at this point. I haven't read all the transcripts. I'm sure that Mr. Canick did his best, as I have said. I think that going into it with Nicole and Tom, he was going into it with two hands tied behind his back. This is a case that required 3, 4, 5 dedicated, hardworking, knowledgeable, and talented attorneys, and he got 1 or 2.
Yeah, there were reports that the attorneys that he was left with were inexperienced. This is a big,
well, they were,
big case.
But again, let's see what happens. If he wins the case, then everything he did was right. If he loses the case, then I suspect that he'll get counsel and he'll revisit some of the things that have gone on.
Will you represent him in the other cases that he still has pending in the other states?
I do represent him in the other cases.
Can you tell us about that?
And we'll continue to do so, sure.
So what's next? Once this case is wrapped up, he still has 2 other cases that are pending, court cases, correct?
Well, you've got a few different scenarios. Let's say that he is found guilty. Obviously, if he's found guilty, he remains in New York pending sentencing. He's looking at a lot of time. If he were to get, 20 years or something like that, who knows if the prosecutors in any of the other jurisdictions would want to go ahead with the case. If he's acquitted in New York, then I suspect the next case will be the federal case in Chicago. We're prepared to fight that case, and we're going to litigate that case, and we're going to do it properly and professionally. He's also got 4 pending cases here in the state of Illinois. All of those cases, I was confident we were going to secure not guilty verdicts for him on those cases. I'm still convinced of that. But again, they're sort of last in time, and so they're going to wait and see what happens on the 2 federal cases. The other thing playing into this, and I know it gets a little complicated, is there's a lot of overlap between all of this. So there are double jeopardy concerns all around.
How much time is he looking at, Attorney Greenberg?
Well, in the case in New York,
No damn double jeopardy.
Depends on what the jury finds. The jury needs to find under a U.S. Supreme Court case called Apprendi versus New Jersey certain things to change the sentencing parameters. Basically, Rico's got a maximum of 20 years unless the underlying crime carries more, and then you could get up to life. We'll see what the jury does. The charges here in Illinois, again, very similar, depending on what the jury were to find. They could have a maximum of 10 years, or otherwise they could have a maximum stretching into the decades.
Yeah, he's facing 22 federal charges.
Right, but that quantity doesn't mean anything. I get a murder case, and somebody is charged with the same murder 7 different ways. It's still one murder. It's the same thing here. He's charged with one. If he's found guilty on every count in the New York case, they're all encompassed by the first count. So we shouldn't get caught up in the number of different counts that he's facing. The cases are problematic because the law of averages, obviously, it's difficult. Most people don't win their federal cases. We have a winning record in federal court, but that's unusual. And I'm not trying to sound cocky, it's just unusual. So, the law of averages of beating one federal case is very difficult. The law of averages on beating 2 federal cases is exponentially more difficult, and then add in the other state cases, and your Vegas odds get very small.
All right, Attorney Greenberg, thank you so much. I really appreciate you carving out time for us this afternoon to be here. Over a month.
He was stuttering. She asked some awesome questions. And how much y'all willing to bet that he ain't gonna be representing nothing in Chicago?
He's still on the case. Unfortunately, they haven't really had time. He want that limelight though, like you said, beautiful spirit. He want to get his name out there, right? So it definitely was some limelight for him. He's trying to put himself out there. I'm still representing him,
Because he said on court TV it was. So.
You said
great. That was a great news clip. Thank you.
Well, thank you, because somebody sent it to me. I don't remember who.
It was me. It was me.
Thank you, baby Yoda. He couldn't answer shit. He was, I don't want to get into that.
He was afraid. You know what? Because if they find him guilty, which we are all hoping, he can talk bad about them, to say they didn't do a good job. That's why he not saying anything.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because if you were let go, you were fired or let go, and all of a sudden he's scared to say anything.
Yeah, he was tweeting about basically it was Tricky Nikki and Tom's fault because they didn't do this or that, and so he wants to try to remove himself from it, although he was the lead attorney. Like he was trying to say like they didn't go through the evidence and that that wasn't his fault. You at the top, you're supposed to oversee stuff. So he trying to be slick with that.
Greenberg is a fool. First of all, he's flipped. 1 minute he's talking shit, the next minute he's cheering them on. I think he just, he loves the limelight. We know he loves the cameras, keeping his name in the news. He knows that his opinion is kind of sought after right now because people want to know, like she said, well, what happened with you? Why did you leave? You know, we want to know these things still. And he holds the key to some things too, because mind you, he was privy to everything. Right? So this
Absolutely.
man out here running around. What was that?
I said correct.
Right.
Yeah,
He out here running around in these streets as if he didn't just come out the house of horrors his damn self.
Okay.
You know, he still got damn traces. He got blood dripping off his feet from what he done stomped in. You know,
Right.
this is ridiculous.
Because he brought Daryl Johnson in on the scene. And then he the one that started, R. Kelly pumped his head up with that double jeopardy shit. He the cause of that.
Oh yeah, double check. First of all, okay, let's talk about what he said. He said the RICO was violated. He's been saying that. Don't you think that it would have been didn't they try to dismantle the RICO with some motions?
Yeah, the same stupid ass
a few times.
Right. And they weren't successful, right? And
Nope.
they went through the whole process. So for him to still be saying that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to cover his behind because he knows he already put out there what if he lose. That's what he said on Twitter. It's like, you know, he gonna lose. So why are you saying if he loses because of Tricky and Tom, or if he loses because they charged him with the RICO, and you know what he's already putting it in the atmosphere. He knows what's time. Like you said, he's got blood on his shoes, Goddess. That's
yeah, he's dropping breadcrumbs is what
And
he's doing.
then he act like we people like us, smart people only, forgot when R. Kelly damn near knocked him down to go to that McDonald's. He stood back to talk to the press because he just got to talk to the press. And he got to saying about, fun facts, we used to get mob bosses and murderers off of set free because we did some crooked things. He said that out of his own mouth that he was a crooked attorney for people because he talked about the man that he got off the murder case. The man got released from jail, went to the gas station, never made it home.
You know what? Wait, I have something by special request real quick.
Fuck you, R. Kelly, bitch!
I love that.
Little intro videos. I had them all ready to go and I didn't forget. I was ready to just get to talking about today. But we will definitely play that before we get up out of here.
You got M. Edwards in the chat said Daryl Johnson will be indicted on bribery of a Cook County official. Reason he is gone. It's in the Chicago Tribune. And in fact,
good.
I want to say that I heard, and I'm gonna just say allegedly, I heard that there was an indictment out for him, like an arrest warrant.
I'm sorry, can you repeat who we're speaking about? I missed that.
M. Edwards in the chat was saying that Daryl Johnson is going to be indicted on a bribery in Cook County.
Okay. Daryl Johnson, the former PR for, or whatever, crisis manager, or whatever the hell he was supposed to be for, right? Okay.
He a thief.
Yeah, that was doing a favor for Greenberg. Doing a favor for Greenberg.
So he's getting indicted, you said? So, okay, who knows any details on that?
She said something was in, M. Edwards said, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you're he or she, I apologize. They said that it's in the Chicago Tribune, it's online. Because I thought I read something about an indictment or an arrest warrant. So yes, I did see something.
All right, and that smart people only. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for bringing that over here. I'll look it up. And then Edwards, I think, said earlier in the chat that Pops is I don't remember, prosecutor, DA, some type of legal professional. So M. Edwards knows what's popping.
Once they chop the head off that octopus, because they already got the sword, like the head of the octopus is halfway over, right? So once they finish slicing the head, they're coming for some of these other folks. Believe that. I do believe that.
Hey, shout out to JC. Happy birthday, JC. Yes.
Oh, man. Happy birthday, JC.
Yes, we definitely
Happy birthday, JC. Hey.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Happy
yes.
birthday, JC. And somebody wants you to play F.U.R. Kelly.
Oh yeah, I'll do a double. We could do
Fuck you, R. Kelly, bitch.
a damn day. And my tech guy, I got to get in touch with this person. I'm all this person. You're relegated to being called this person now. But yeah, you owe me a new clip. I have people. My tentacles reach far. Greenberg know what's up. Yeah, he definitely does. He knows a whole lot. He knows way more than we do with what's going on behind the scenes. So, Danielle, welcome. Accountability, yes. Accountability,
I'm
absolutely.
surprised he didn't get on there and and say groupies. He always talking about they nothing but a bunch of groupies. He been real quiet until this verdict come back.
Because he nervous, low key. He know it.
Not quiet, but cautious.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look this up real quick because some people are like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to know too." Like, let me see if I can pull up something here.
So yes, J Man, I saw that a while ago. That Daryl Johnson is a shyster. He been swindling people out of their money. He's a professional con artist. He thought he was gonna get in there and con the monster. So what was that?
Go ahead, Ms. Della. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, and that's what he was doing, going around conning people out of money.
Yeah, he sure was.
His hotel don't got caught.
Good. That man. Okay, now I have a question, and I don't know. It might be a stupid question, but I always say the stupid question is the one you don't ask. Now, for the people that got a deal or whatever, let's say for an example, I'm not sure if Copeland got an immunity or not, or let's say Cheryl Mack that I know of, they've been jumping from show to show, but can they, if you do get immunity or a deal, what Deanna Copeland did, running around on show to show, and obviously, definitely telling a whole nother story from the stand and everything else. Can she mess up the deal? Is that jeopardizing her
if
freedom?
she perjured herself, I don't think she got no type of immunity because she ain't really dropped nothing.
Oh, also because she got a lawyer.
She didn't really drop nothing. She lied. But again, she was very cautious of what she said.
Exactly. She doesn't have immunity. I believe the only one that has immunity was Demetrius. But interesting that you said that. You remember John Doe number 1 that is under indictment? Well, I read today that the prosecutors are pulling back. I think they call it a 5,000 letter or 4,000 letter, which goes to his sentencing to help him get less years, right? Because he was trying to get like the minimum of 10 to 15 years. So that's why they promised him this letter. And they're pulling it back because he did not, I guess he perjured or did not fulfill his obligations. And that I read today. Yep. Okay. So good. Start bringing their asses down. Demetrius might be able to slither away and join the octopus. He should have been hanging on like a barnacle. You know what barnacles are? They're like algae that are rocks. And they hook on to stuff in the sea, right? That's what he is. He a barnacle under the octopus head, under R. Kelly.
Wow.
Okay, I'm just looking. I was looking in this. You said there was the Tribune?
Chicago,
they said the Chicago Tribune
How
online.
you spell Daryl? His name, Daryl Johnson, is what? D-E or D-A? Or
it's D-A. That's how I was spelling it when I Googled his ass.
D-A-R-R-Y-L or something like that?
Y-L or E-L or, okay.
Y-L, I think. Yeah, you're right. Y-L.
Let me see.
She said check the Chicago Sun-Times.
Oh, the Sun-Times. All right. I'm all in the Tribune. All up in the Tribune. Okay, we don't have to stop because of this, but I'm just, being very...
Yeah, that was a good point you brought up, beautiful spirit. Unfortunately, because Demetrius had immunity, he's not going to lose that deal. But if they wanted to pick up another type of a charge that they wanted to for something else that he did, they could charge him with something different. You know what I'm saying? if he broke some other type of
Oh, okay.
law.
Because I got
But
a good feeling that a lot of them, because they going to get the, getting beside themselves, thinking they got away with something. And I do believe when Michael Avenatti said after he get taken care of and settled in his new prison home, they're going to turn all their full attention to all the enablers and handlers, one by one, no matter how long it
they
takes.
need to, all the way down to the YouTube. Texas
And yeah,
Black
oh yeah.
Diamond with Dr. Cash Jones was all in uh the closing arguments.
'Cause-
Star
Yeah,
6ix9ine, his mammy, all in the arguments.
because
All of
they're
them need
not
to go
mentioning
down.
these people names for nothing. They letting them know.
That's
We're going to
right.
get right with you. We're going to get right with you.
They all visiting YouTube channels, going channel to channel, channel to channel, and they all up in being talked about, names on the board, on that, that big board they had, right? Got it showed last night.
Yeah.
They said there's a lot of their names up there. Okay, there she go.
Okay, here we go.
Well, this is not Daryl Johnson. I couldn't find it, but I will look. I will look further. I did find another article about today in the Sun Times, which I have tabled. This one is from Vulture. I also have something from the New York Times, which looks pretty detailed.
Yeah, New York Times is good.
Yeah, I think I might start with that one, actually. Okay, and then this one is the Sun Times. Let me move that. I'm over here manipulating tabs, y'all.
I know you got all that info up, and the BuzzFeed was good too. I think I sent that one to you, but yeah, New York Times is good. They got them details on their ass.
You gonna pull that article back up, that horrifying, that compare R. Kelly to Martin Luther King is a disgrace.
Yeah, I think this covers it also. Oh, I keep bringing this one up.
Miss Della, all the ancestors, all the civil rights, all the blood that they shed, all the civil rights activists, this man fighting for constitutional civil rights of color, and this man had the audacity. Lord have mercy.
So, this is from the New York Times. What happened during closing arguments at the R. Kelly trial? Well, this was yesterday, though. This was yesterday. I thought I had one from today.
Get the one for today, Donna. Yeah.
Hold on.
Miss Della, like you was speaking on the Martin Luther King reference. Oh, you got this today?
Okay. The final days of the R. Kelly trial. This is dated today. There's a couple things from today from them, but this one is more comprehensive. But this still says it's Thursday. Okay, I'm not trying to rehash his whole career. I know that much. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Vulture, and then. All right, Vulture. R. Kelly's lawyer just used Martin Luther King Jr. to argue for innocence is the title of this, the headline of this article. Moments after R. Kelly's legal team started its closing argument, it became clear that the R&B singer's last chance to proclaim his innocence would be as weird as the first opportunity. Indeed, lead Kelly attorney Deborah Canick invoked Dr. Martin Luther King, Mike Pence, and Hugh Hefner in arguing that his client is not guilty. What transpired is this. Canick started his closing by saying, "This is a great country, and our Constitution is most sacred." This is pretty normal fare for defense lawyers. The Sixth Amendment says that people charged with crimes have a right to a fair trial, but things quickly took a turn. Canick said that in the 1960s, someone who was derided as a rabble-rouser and a communist, along with like-minded allies, decided that the Constitution wasn't being fair to them. Quote, so they took it to the street. They took to the street, they revolted, Kanek said. Multiple oh no's could be heard in the room when it became clear where Kanek was going. Quote, and in the process, some were killed, some were maimed. So, wait a minute. Is he comparing this to the revolution, the trying to like for freedom? For what?
Right. He actually was comparing that. In fact, he quoted the I Have a Dream speech.
Wait, I haven't got the King yet.
Okay.
I'm just dissecting what he just said about
Okay.
what he just said about the taking to the street and revolting. Okay, let me go on. Quote, and Dr. King, as you know, he was murdered. Kanek then quoted King's I've been to the mountaintop speech, essentially arguing civil rights leader and Kelly are both fighting for their constitutional rights. Quote, and that's all Robert is trying to do, he said, end quote. Kanek also described Kelly. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something on this part about Martin Luther King? This is ridiculous. Like, how dare, how dare you? I am like, when I saw this earlier, I just kind of shook my head. I wasn't, I was doing other things, but to really read this, I'm insulted. Everybody.
The audacity to compare R. Kelly on any level to Martin Luther King is insult to any person that has fought for civil rights, for all people of color, voting rights. Of course, women, just basic civil rights, the Voting Act to vote. And that's what I was saying earlier that when Ms. Della brought it up, the ancestors and all the people that lost their lives marching in this country, getting sprayed by hoses, beaten, set on fire, hung on trees, and Nick had the audacity. What has he ever? He's a pedophile. What has he ever even done for his own community, let alone the whole country?
Don't know.
The whole country.
He probably not even understood what Martin Luther King stood for. He don't have a clue. Could care less.
You're right about that. He's illiterate.
And then for Kanek to be a black man himself, that this is every day is something. Every day is something.
He probably was sitting in the room. I got to come up with something. Martin Luther King, fucking Mike Pence. Yeah. Mike Pence is a disgrace because Mike Pence calls his wife mother. You trying to compare that to daddy? Hugh Hefner,
right? That means Mike Pence
plenty of women. However,
Ms. Della,
they wasn't abused.
That's right, Ms. Della. That means Mike Pence don't get none. So that's why you call him
a disgrace. Disgrace vice president. You gonna because he called that it's an insult. I know that damn jury price said I know they ain't go there. You seen any of Hugh Hefner's women with sweatpants on? You have to sleep with other men and women, videotape, have to ask you permission to use the bathroom or eat, turn your head around the corner, do what I say, or I raised you. Do you see any of that coming out of Hugh Hefner's harem or whatever you want to call them?
Some of those jurors are middle-aged, and I understand Kanek, this was his last hurrah, because he only gets one go at this, right? And he was all emotional and hollering and all that. But let me tell you something. He better be sure that he did not alienate and offend people on that jury with that statement. Because some people have lived through that time or were born through that time and their parents, that he better see, it's a very fine line to use that as a comparison. He compared R. Kelly to Martin Luther King. That's very dangerous.
But that's okay, because maybe once he goes to jail, maybe I may fork up a few dollars and send him Martin Luther King, so he let him read in there to know what Martin Luther King stood for, what he fought for all these years. This is an insult. It's horrible.
Yeah, he better hope he didn't offend them jurors with that. They all in there dancing in the streets. Oh, get it. That was very offensive to compare that man who has a national federal holiday. You know, the thing in Atlanta, the museum got him up on Washington Monument, his own monument, and you comparing a pedophile that been abusing girls and boys for 30 years. I think it was a wrong move. I really do.
Of course it was. That's why didn't God say that the reporters and them was like, oh no.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I was looking at these. They have so many different things posted. There's some very interesting articles. One of them is, listen, I'm gonna post it in the description. I'm not gonna read it, but it says R. Kelly's trial is captivating a Black audience online. Here's why. And it's not in my plan for tonight, but I'm gonna put it in case you want to read it.
Daddy's little girl said that he was crying today. Do anybody know anything about that? Please, I hope he wasn't crying because he was compared.
He was crying, yeah. He was crying when God is probably gonna get down further into that, when Kanik started humiliating the victims, because of course all of the victims, all 40 plus witnesses are all liars. Everybody is a liar. Everybody is a liar that testified. So at some point during that part of his closing, because I think it's closing, then Kells got emotional, took his mask off and wiping his eyes, child.
That's fake. He ain't
Exactly.
cried. He cried when he was doing all that shit to everybody. I can care less. He's probably crying because he probably know his own. He probably think of the drug. Oh my God, look at him. Oh my God, he's so emotional. We're just gonna let him go home. Oh, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. That was fake tears.
That's right.
How you think those girls felt when you screamed and yelled at them and stop that fucking crying? Keep crying.
Yeah,
Chicky told him, now look, Robert, look, I'm gonna need you to bring the tears on now, because we need to really present that emotional side. Okay?
Oh, I'm checking. Ronnie Lyles, shout out to you. Sent me the article for Daryl Johnson. Okay, we'll do that. It looks like it was on Instagram. Okay, we'll read that after. Okay, so let me finish this one. Vulture. Kanik also described Kelly's behavior as in keeping with the international superstar that he had become after rising up from being a mere street musician. Quote, his label marketed him as a sex symbol, a playboy. So he started living that lifestyle, Kanik said. Where's the crime in that? Hugh Hefner, that was his life, not a crime. Not a crime. Kanik also described Kelly's affinity for younger females as normal. Quote, he prefers, in some instances, the May to October relationship. Older man, somewhat younger woman. Somewhat younger, he put. Some people just like it that way, Kanik said. Some people also just like kinky sex. Kanik also argued against the prosecution's claim that Kelly's alleged requirement that his girlfriends call him daddy was evidence of manipulation and abuse. Quote, daddy, it's almost a crime to call a man daddy, Kanik said. I guess people can't do that anymore. Quote, the former vice president pinned his wife mother, he said. He just playing now. Earlier in the day, sometime between the 4th and 5th hour, prosecutors' closing arguments, the R&B singer seemed like he had enough. Ugh. Can you take over for me for 1 second, please? Somebody. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, he said some people like, what did you say, younger women are May to October. It's first of all, it's May to December is the quote. And then kinky sex. But with minors, this ain't with just younger women. We ain't talking 5 years, 10 years, you 30, they 25. We're not talking 45, you 30. We're not talking that when everybody grown. We talking 48 and 17, nigga. 48 and 17, 15.
Oh, 12, 11 years
year
old,
old.
actually, yes.
Speak on the beautiful spirit. 12-year-old babies. You took their virginity. You traumatized them. You abused them. You controlled them. You manipulated them. You groomed them. You know, you messed them up.
Yeah.
Took their dream, like we said last night. You took their dreams away.
I mean, they
so
will
to
forever
fulfill
be.
your, not no kinky sex, but your damn demonic sex. He got a demon, a sex. We already said he had a sex addiction. He got a demonic spirit in him with that. You got to feed. You got to feed it.
And you know what? I was thinking about what God has done said, because he lies so much. We don't know if the sister touched him or not, or he was touching on the sister, because we don't know who was the victims in the house. He probably, we don't know. We don't know that.
Even remember we were talking about the kids, allegedly one of the children, his own children, the niece. Nobody was safe around him.
Nobody.
No child.
Nobody.
No child. And I think that can offend, you know what? I think it could be, like I said, I understand he had to go in there with the hung and all that emotion because right? We understand all that.
I'm sorry.
You're so crazy. But you know, we get that, right?
Yeah.
But you comparing this damn pedophile to Martin Luther King, you comparing Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner was never associated with messing with minors. Now, he did like his young women, his Playboy bunnies all in the house with him, but they were all in their 20s and older. They were
At
past
least he paid
21.
for college funds and stuff and everything, and they had their own house and cars.
Yeah, and didn't have young girls under boxing rings and not feeding them and beating their ass because they wouldn't looking right when he was videotaping them. Right. Do it again. You don't do it this time. You're gonna do it right, or I'm gonna beat your fucking. And you better get back in that room. You better go in the closet, and you better not come. You better not call me or just the studio. And you better not eat. You better not. If you need to pee, you pee in the cup. Yeah.
You know, I think he's gonna be found guilty. I really do believe that.
All them witnesses, and Candy said all of them lying. Every single one. All the witnesses. The octopus with the technicals, all of them. His ass is cooked. They just, all the supporters, they just playing R. Kelly music. The reporters were out there trying to, be filmed, Court TV and them. They couldn't even talk to that. The music so loud. It was, you got Hollywood out there impersonating herself as a reporter. The guy from NBC asked her what her credentials were. She says, "Well, I took my credentials off. Why? I'm not standing before you as a person. I'm not standing before you. Well, are you a reporter, ma'am? I'm not. I am a reporter. And who do you report for, ma'am? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If you are a reporter, there is a code of ethics that, first of all, you have to have credentials. But secondly, there's a code of ethics that you take. I've taught journalism and I worked at a newspaper before. I was an educator 15 years. So you take this code of ethics is to say you always tell the truth. And then the second thing is that you will report news without bias.
Okay.
She don't qualify for the first two. We can just cross them off of it.
How
Yep.
the chat doing? How you guys doing? We appreciate y'all hanging in here with us. I can't
Did
see
you?
this.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Thank you guys for holding me down. All right.
Lord Warrior had me dying laughing away. Every time I see that man now, I'm gonna die laughing.
So,
I have to go on the replay.
so I just sent you a video.
I got it.
This is
I got it.
okay. So
I'm
okay,
gonna finish
I
this
think that's
article
pretty
though.
good. Yes.
Thank you.
And some of them was saying that the 6 hours closing was just too long. But they'll break it down for you.
Okay. Okay, so we're talking about the prosecution. As prosecutor Elizabeth Geddes broke down every instance of his alleged sexual abuse and argued that they reflected an organized enterprise, not just offenses, Kelly repeatedly shook his head. At some point, he dropped his head into his clasped hands. He even scribbled notes. While not uncommon gestures for someone on trial, they were a marked departure from Kelly's behavior throughout the course of his sex crimes trial, aside from the one day when he grooved to his music. Geddes began
meaning he was fake, meaning you faking, like y'all said, you acting like you gonna wait, not show no emotion the entire time, except when you playing the piano in the air, and when you try to intimidate two Jane Does by removing your mask. You the whole other time you ain't never show no emotion. Now you crying today. It's fake.
So he's acting. Yeah. Okay. Geddes began her closing statement on Wednesday afternoon. It ended just before 12:30 Thursday. She argued that Kelly, quote, used lies, manipulation, threats, and physical abuse to dominate his victims, and that, quote, he used his money and public persona to hide his crimes in plain sight, end quote. Geddes' lengthy closing statement needed to sum up 6 weeks of testimony and evidence and demonstrate how that evidence proved that Kelly's alleged predatory behavior constituted part of an organized criminal enterprise. Prosecutors have maintained that Kelly and his close associates had a, quote, common purpose of achieving the objectives of the enterprise, end quote. They promoted his music and brand while luring teen girls, teenage boys, young women, and young men into a sick world of illicit sexual encounters, prosecutors alleged. Kelly is charged with 1 count of racketeering and 8 counts of violating the Mann Act for allegedly transporting a teenage girl and a woman across state lines for illegal sexual activity. Kelly has maintained his innocence. In total, 11 accusers took the stand against Kelly during his trial. 6 of these 11 were minors at the time of the alleged abuse. 2 were male. Kelly himself did not testify. The indictment against Kelly lists 6 female victims, one being the late singer Aaliyah, whom Kelly allegedly illegally married in 1994 when she was 15 and he was 27. 3 other accusers in his indictment were minors at the time of Kelly's alleged sexual abuse. In addition to Aaliyah, the charges against R. Kelly involved accusers Stephanie, Sonia, Tha Dopess, Jane, and Faith. Accusers who testified but weren't part of the charges were intended to show Kelly's alleged pattern of abuse. The defendant was more than, quote, the defendant was more than just a part of his he was the leader, Geddes said, later observing that for many years, what happened in the defendant's world stayed in the defendant's world, but no longer. Geddes said that Kelly wouldn't have been able to commit these crimes without his close network of associates who did everything from drive women and girls to him to pass out his phone number at concerts. Quote, some actively assisted, Geddes said of Kelly's inner circle. Quote, others turned a blind eye, end quote. She described the situation as, quote, a Robert Kelly-centric universe, end quote, where his inner circle revolved around him. Geddes wrapped up her closing on Thursday afternoon with a call to action for jurors. It is time, quote, it is time to hold the defendant responsible for the pain that he has inflicted on each of his victims, Aaliyah, Stephanie, Sonia, Geronda, Jane, and Faith, Getty said. It is now time for the defendant, Robert Kelly, to pay for his crimes, she said. Convict him. Court is back in session on Friday. Yep.
And she looked tired too when she came out that courtroom. I think she did a wonderful job.
Shout out to her. Yeah. She had to speak for these women, and she had to be thorough. And it took a long time, I'm sure. But oh well. This is her one shot. What you think she's gonna do? Go up there and just like go up there for a few minutes because somebody don't want to be bored or whatnot? They don't want to hear it. I don't know. They feel like it was too much overkill. Well, guess what? That's how this thing goes sometimes. Like, you're not in the jury pool. You don't even have the weight on you to make this decision. So don't complain. Like, people shouldn't complain about it.
I mean, it was overkill what he did to them babies.
Exactly.
So
she had to tie up all the charges you read. She had to tie up everything, connect it all to prove that racketeering in a bow, so she could walk the jury through each of those charges so that they could get guilty on every single count. Yeah.
Lasting impression says she has a basketball mentality. That's right. Yeah. She got the ball. As long as she got the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Team is on
Geddes is the boat. Is the goat. The boat. Geddes is the goat. Yes. So JC is asking, what can we expect tomorrow?
I don't know. We don't know what we're going to be surprised with, y'all.
We got Shahada finishing up because Geddes did the closing. Shahada's doing the rebuttal. So Shahada got up. They ended with Shahada up there, I guess, for about an hour. And then Shahada start out in the morning. Then you got jury instructions, baby. And then it's on to the jury.
So I don't know if you guys remember Greenberg saying he would not advise, giving a jury this assignment to start on a Friday. So, because they have time to sleep on it, I think he said, or something like that. But anyway, what do you guys think about the timing of everything?
I guess what he's trying to go ahead, beautiful spirit.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I think what, to me, reading between the lines of what Greenberg is saying, if they get it on a Friday and they got time, first of all, they may be sequestered. So if they are sequestered, then they will retire to a hotel and probably continue deliberating through the weekend. But I guess he's saying, well, it's not a good idea if the jury gets to sleep on it or whatever. Why? Because they're going to come to a guilty verdict. That's why. Like if they feel pressured, the pressure's on. No, they're going to do what's right.
All right. Well, I got another news clip. Let's hear it.
Joining me throughout the hour tonight to help break down today's events in court is my all-star team of legal experts. In Atlanta, trial lawyer and former National Bar Association President C.K. Hoffler. In San Francisco, veteran prosecutor of BNC's legal contributor Paul Henderson. And in Orlando, criminal defense attorney and president of the National Trial Lawyers Association, Mark O'Meara. Thank you all for being here tonight. All right, let's start with the defense's closing and work backwards. Lots of interesting arguments were made by the defense's lead attorney, Daryl Johnson. He said nothing R. Kelly did was out of the ordinary, that as an international superstar, he was a sex symbol, a playboy who enjoyed kinky sex between consenting adults, which isn't a crime. He asked the jury to set aside any judgments about the types of relationships Kelly had and understand that these women were not only consenting adults, but bought into the lifestyle. CK, to you first. Can the defense simplify this case that easily?
Absolutely not. I quite frankly found that to be a ridiculous argument. For sure, R. Kelly is a superstar. For sure, there are a lot of consenting adults. There were a lot of people who probably were groupies that did partake in a lot of activities with R. Kelly. But to oversimplify 9 witnesses that speak of what I believe, if the jury believes it, really heinous activities, acts of sexual oppression against men and women, to overly simplify that when they actually heard live his voice And some of the things that he did to some of these victims, I think, is a very risky move. And I don't think that you can oversimplify that case in that way. I think, frankly, it was a bad move for them to make in closing. That, and also equating R. Kelly to Dr. Martin Luther King. That was actually jaw-dropping to me.
We're going to get to that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We're going to definitely get to that. No. No, I'm definitely going to get to that. Mark, the defense argued that the government was trying to, quote, criminalize legal activity like kinky sex or sex between people of different ages, but underage girls can't consent. Could the prosecution have objected to that statement as a mischaracterization of the law, or the judge intervened at that point?
So yes, the answer is if they misstate the law, then of course it is an objectionable argument. But remember, the jury is told it's just argument. It's the attorneys trying to give you their best perspective. Generally speaking, it's not a good idea to object during closing argument. You almost may give it more focus by doing so. But, remember with a case like this, as was just said, we know as lawyers, argue the facts when you have them, argue the law when you have it, and just argue if you don't have either. And I think what the defense was doing was trying to get so close to the edge, stay away from criminality, but say, look, kinky sex, doing this, daddy is not, a abuse, and saying all of this is close. It's close to the edge, but it's not criminal, because they cannot deny all of the evidence that was presented by those witnesses. All they can say is, sure, that's close. Yes, it's close. Yes, it's kinky sex. No, there was nobody calling for the cops when they had their cell phone locked in some closet somewhere. Get so close to the edge where they can still say kinky behavior, but not criminal. So in that sense, having to accept the facts as they are now before the jury, you almost have to give the defense a little bit of credit of going, you have to acknowledge what you know the jury believes happened, but maybe it's not a crime. And I think that's where Kenneth was going with his arguments.
The defense then started to attack the credibility of Kelly's accusers, describing them as opportunists, liars, and obsessive fans. Paul, that's a common defense strategy, but the sheer number of accusers, 11 total, doesn't that make it hard for the jury to believe that all of them were being untruthful?
It does. And to Mark's point that he was just talking about, in terms of the mischaracterizing their testimony and their evidence, I feel like I try to give leeway in closing argument, but I would have objected. I would have interrupted, and I would have said that this crossed the line as the defense attorney characterized the behavior as not criminal. Now, that's just wrong. We're here in this courtroom because it is criminal. I would have objected, and I would have, if for no other reason, to stand up for those victims who deserve to be heard, for their voices that deserve to be believed, and for those jurors that were paying attention and believe, even if they just believed a few of them, if they believe any of them, I feel like that's the role of prosecutors, to stand up for the victims and the witnesses that are testifying in a case like this. And remember, there are 11 witnesses, and of those 11 witnesses that testified as victims, not the witnesses, but the victims, 6 of them were underage at the time that they were involved with R. Kelly, which is the definition, as we talked about before, of statutory rape. For that reason alone, I would have been more vociferous about objecting and making it clear to the jury that someone believes those men and women that were testifying. Someone believes that a crime has been committed, and I want you to believe that as well, and you're going to hear me be adamant and defensive about it when it gets mischaracterized on purpose as an adoptive admission from defense counsel in a case like this.
All right, CK, the defense invoked Dr. King and the civil rights movement in his closing, suggesting that the jury was facing a similar fight, asking them to be courageous and fair, and that by being so, that they would clear Kelly of all charges against him. Was this a stretch, and was this inappropriate?
I think it was a stretch, and I think it was terribly inappropriate, especially given where we are in this country now. I was actually disgusted by the mere comparison of R. Kelly in this case. Even if you assume he's innocent, The allegations in this case to compare him to Dr. King was a very, very bad move. And if they wanted to paint a path for the jury to walk down and convict him, they opened up the door and they laid that path right in front of the jury. That's how I saw it. Because if there were many people that were on the fence and really felt that some of the witnesses lacked credibility, by drawing that comparison with just the right jurors, you could have people or jurors that would really take a stand because they would be so offended by that comparison. I'm not sure why they took that move, why they took that risk, because that was a horrible risk in my opinion.
Yeah.
I want to get all of your thoughts on that, Mark.
Wow. I looked at it, and at first I heard it before I actually read the transcript. And I said, well, maybe he made some offhand reference. And then I actually read what he said. And I remember, because I've had the honor and the pleasure of knowing Martin Luther King III and having served on a couple of panels with him and gotten to know him just a little bit. And I just remember thinking and texting him and going, I'm just sorry that someone, anyone, would drag in your dad's name into this case and suggested, and again, even if he's innocent, as Olga just said, even if he's innocent, the idea of dragging those two polar opposites together, somebody charged with child sexual abuse and Martin Luther King Jr., I didn't, it was disgusting, and I don't know what he was trying to do. Who was he talking to when he wanted someone to think R. Kelly and MLK Jr. are sort of fighting the same fight right now? So where was he going with that besides, I don't know, maybe making a name for himself when the case is over?
Got it.
Like that.
Yes.
Your thought.
That attorney that was just speaking, Mark Marinara,
Yeah.
he was the lead attorney that got George Zimmerman off for Trayvon Martin's case.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart. He's very smart, that one attorney. I
remember.
Well, unfortunately.
I know. I saw him. I was like, ugh.
I know, right?
But he did his job.
I mean, Trayvon Martin, yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
So I felt very strongly. My immediate reaction when
Wait a minute.
was,
Who sent me this? Baby Yoda. This thing is 19 minutes. I'm not gonna play a 19-minute video, y'all.
Yes.
This thing is 19. So this video is 19 minutes. Did you?
No, let's listen to what he got. Let's listen to what he got to say, then cut it off.
Okay.
Ma'am, please take several seats. If you are even raise the specter of Martin Luther King with R. Kelly, are you freaking kidding me? In this courtroom? Well, we're talking about the herpes and sexual behavior and statutory rape and kidnapping and aggressive behavior and misuse of celebrities.
Yeah.
And you dare to bring up Martin Luther King? Sit down.
Sit down.
But I think maybe that was part of the point, because I was so irritated by it and frustrated by it. I can't imagine other people weren't as well, including viewers in America, even though it's not taped in video so we can watch the commentary live. I believe that had to be a distraction and a red herring. And I think it's one of the things that in a case like this is where defense gets backed into a corner where they don't get to argue a lot of facts. They don't get to argue a lot of challenges to the incidents that took place. They're left to bolster their defense by arguing and throwing anything out there that could be a distraction to the jury. I believe this is one of those distractions that gets an entire audience thinking about Martin Luther King as R. Kelly. What the heck does that mean? And if they're thinking about any other thing other than the actual facts and connecting it to the elements that the prosecution has to prove, then that's a win. But it was so ridiculous and offensive is the issue.
Hello.
It was offensive to an audience. I believe it was probably offensive to several of the jurors as well, that even if they weren't familiar or fans of R. Kelly, they certainly didn't equate his behavior to anything in the sphere of Martin Luther King. Right. If anything, it was a distraction that they have served the defense a moment where they weren't thinking about the facts or the charges. But that's all it was. And it may have turned many of them, as it turned me, against the defense for daring to present it in that way.
Yes.
I was offended.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think that it hurt their credibility. All right, we've got
Absolutely hurt their. You said what I said. I'm just saying. This, I mean, this is a good news clip, but you know, it's long. So you guys know BNC, right? So we're right here at the 11-minute mark. There's more to go. So I agree with everything he said and then some. Okay, at least the person who sent me the video can say something.
They brought it home.
Huh?
They brought it home.
You know how it is, right? It always comes late, and it just came.
Yeah.
And that was fine, because once I saw the Martin Luther King, and due to the fact that you were just reading it, at least we got some different opinions on it. And basically they saying the same thing we were saying before we even listened to it. It's an insult, a disgrace.
And it probably offended some of the jurors. Like I said, you got 7 men, and supposedly half of those men are at least men of color. Men of color, right? And if they are, exactly, and that it probably was offensive to them or their parents because of living through that time. You know, I really agree with all of them on that panel that it probably, as they spoke on it, it was a distraction because they didn't got shit to work with. And that, but he could have stayed with that Hugh Hefner comparison, but the Martin Luther King comparison
and
might work against them.
I mean, you couldn't come up with nothing better than that, because I remember one of the Jane Does, he had called her on the phone, you know, and he was like, "How beautiful," and she didn't call him dad. He hung up the phone, and then he called back, and she had to say, "Hi, daddy." So you gonna compare that to Mike Pence? You call daddy is a form of control. You got to call him dad, please.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I think I'm aspiring off this. So I mean, that's it. That's all I got right now.
It's offensive.
Joseph, welcome back. It's all right. You late because we finna end, but it's all good. Good to see you. Go on the replay. Catch the rest.
It alienates people that have have the reverence for Martin Luther King and what he stood for. It alienates people because it's alienating and offending us, and we represent the jury. The jury is the peers, so it has to offend many. Like he said, some that were even on the fence, they probably were offended by that. Not to mention what R. Kelly stands for. Come on. In no shape, way, or form do those 2 men names belong in the same sentence.
No 12 play, no bump and grind. They ain't got shit to do with him. And it's terrible. I mean, it's just dumbfounding.
Yeah.
And I know nobody wasn't laughing, celebrating over that. You want to come now? You actually think a R. Kelly supporter will actually compare this man to Martin Luther King? Where is the girl from yesterday that couldn't? Where's the girl from yesterday that couldn't spell parent? Maybe she remember that one. Now yeah. Somebody like that, but oh my God, he's getting off. He's getting off. He's compared. Oh my God, they put him up to Martin Luther King. But don't worry about it. I can't spell, but I don't need to spell as long as I can hear bump and grind.
Yeah,
exactly.
So JC was asking about what's next. I know, we talked about it a little bit. I'm in the New York Times, and they said after closings, U.S. District Judge M. Donnelly will instruct the jury. I almost made her my avatar face tonight, but I was like, no.
I like this avatar, actually. I like it.
Oh, yes. That's Homage to the Moon. I always had to think about, because I'm not on the page. So I was like, what is it? Okay. Instruct the jury on how they're to deliberate on the 9 counts Mr. Kelly is charged with. 1 racketeering count and 8 counts of violating the Mann Act. I think I read this. Did I read this? Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Jury instructions may seem dry, but the judge's words to the jury as she gives them the case are important, and they are often carefully litigated. For example, in recent days, R. Kelly's lawyers and federal prosecutors have gone back and forth in court filings about how they would like Judge Donnelly to explain the nuances of the racketeering charge and the possible defenses to claims of Mr. Kelly's abuse of underage girls. Judge Donnelly has said she expects the jury to have the case by the end of the week. After that, it's anybody's guess. Old courthouse wisdom, in quotes, sometimes holds that long trials lead to long jury deliberations, but in at least one recent case in Brooklyn federal court, that did not happen. The 2019 racketeering and sex trafficking trial of Keith Raniere, founder of the next sex cult, lasted 6 weeks, and the jury found him guilty in less than a day of all charges. By the way, he got sentenced to 120 years. Yes, he did. Courthouse gadflies also like to say that the longer the deliberation stretch out, the better outlook for the defendants. That's just a tidbit they added. Okay. Yeah.
The letter that the defense put in, they wanted the judge to write into the instructions that the jurors should not speculate. And also she wanted in the instructions to explain to them what direct and circumstantial evidence was, right? And I thought to myself, those are things that the judge normally just speaks about. Like, they don't normally write all that into the instructions, because the letter went on to say, which is the law, that the jurors are allowed to infer, right? So the word infer and the word speculation are similar, right? You can speculate, meaning, oh, you're not quite sure. Infer is like where you're inferring, you're taking information, you're questioning it, but you can make a judgment from it. So when I saw that letter, I said to myself, that probably what offended the hell out of Judge Ann to get that letter from them. Like, you trying to school this judge how to talk to the jury and give the instructions? That's her part. That's the judge's part. Like, she got that.
I thought it was normal that they do that. That's what the article said. They deliberate that the hell out of that shit. Yeah, because they're fighting. Okay, they're fighting. They're gonna fight and scrap for every little thing, you know.
Right, right.
Defense team, out of all the embarrassing moments and the weak arguments that they had, this really topped the case with his comparison. Like, I think he don't ruin his career, because I wouldn't want him representing me after I done seen him if I was seeking legal representation. That's terrible.
Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's a whole Instagram page dedicated to this. Hold on, let me pull this up.
Who's the mechanic?
I'm sorry, no, Daryl Johnson scammer.
Oh.
This is, I guess, where the information is about the arrest or whatever. But let me shout out to is it Ronnie Lyles? Okay, hold on. Let me.
Hey, Ronnie Lyles. That name sounds familiar.
The chat. Well, I mean, that's where I'm referring.
Yeah.
Okay,
Y'all know they said that he played the precedence audio of Jane and her dad at the towards the end too.
I wish they would stop. They would leave the Clarys alone. I just wish they would leave them. They just been from the, the supporters to the, now it's his defense team. There's this harp. They act like that's the only victim that he has and have ever had, and it's all their fault of why he got caught and why he's put to an end. I mean, I just wish they just leave all the victims alone. But dang, they just keep harping on the Clarys, just harping.
She brought some damaging evidence, so I guess, and then check this out real quick. One of the YouTubers said that That was what she had suggested, and she believed Candace had watched her video, child, and got that from her.
Oh, we talking about dry hole?
Her little court report, the court reporter that be over there with her.
Oh,
the other one.
yeah.
Mhm.
She getting a little cocky, huh? A little big headed.
Yeah, get a little spicy, get a little spicy and shit. But the one that tops it all was Hollywood out there perpetrating as a damn reporter. Let me stop.
So this is okay. So this page is dedicated to. It's called Daryl Johnson Scammer. There in Houston, Texas. It says this caption for this document says Daryl Johnson, fraudulent imposter. R. Kelly's team continues to be corrupt, bribery, theft, and money laundering. R. Kelly's infamous crisis manager, as seen on CNN, Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, and Gayle King, is being arraigned for a felony. Yeah. It says, yeah. I mean, let's see. So, the state of Texas versus Daryl Tracy Johnson. He's a Gemini. Hold on, I'm just seeing where the actual. So I have to go into the actual document. I guess they blurred out something up there. I guess his personal information. What is this? Let's see. Before me, the undersigned assistant district attorney of Harris County, Texas. This day appeared the undersigned affiant, who under oath says that he has good reason to believe and does believe that in Harris County, Texas, Daryl Tracy Johnson, hereafter styled the defendant heretofore on or about June 12, 2019, through or on or about December 11, 2019, did then and there unlawfully pursuant to one scheme and continuing course of conduct appropriate by acquiring and otherwise exercising control over property, namely cash money owned by the person's name is blotted out, with the intent to deprive blank of said property, and cash money owned by blank with the intent to deprive blank of said property, and the total value of the property appropriated from the above persons was at least $30,000 and less than $150,000. So he's a thief and a fraud.
You know, if my memory serves me correctly, when he first got brought on the scene, they were in the Cook County building in the lobby with news reporters. And this is when Greenberg said that he brought him aboard or whatever. And I could have sworn, I don't know if I read an article or if the news reporters, it was a news clip, because I have not been able to find it, that he had been incarcerated before for being a scammer or whatever. And he was like a prison lawyer or something while he was on the inside. And he was like, he got his degree, and that has nothing to do with what he was doing as of right now, because he have other big celebrities that he's helped or whatever. He was like, he took over, stepped in front of Greenberg and them was talking for himself. If anybody remember that, do they remember ever seeing it that one time about he was a criminal, he had a criminal record? So I believe it. I believe it so heartily, and I believe that's his history. And it's good that his ass got indicted.
I got a question. Wasn't he brought up in this trial, text or audio or something about asking Kells for $2,000 to pay somebody?
Yeah, and he was also trying to bribe the clerk to dig into his financial, basically he was playing he wanted to see just like a con artist. He wanted to see his finances, like his legal, I guess what he was in debt, could he afford the ticket that he was gonna hit him for? And then I'm assuming that he came to R. Kelly lying, saying, if you want me to get rid of this evidence for you with this victim, it's gonna cost you, because I gotta give
$2,000, so I gotta pay the clerk or something. So he was brought up in the trial. I thought so.
Yep. And he sure was, honey. They talked to the clerk that he addressed. You know what? He probably got indicted or subpoenaed when he got withdrew from the place or whatever. I mean, out of the situation or the picture, when he had an attitude, lied about having a death in the family and all that, when he was on Dr. Oz and all that mess.
Yeah.
All bunch of crooks. R. Kelly's a crook, and it's everybody around him was a crook. Everybody's dirty, just dirty and filthy and pathetic.
Well, I was just reading this document. I need some time because basically, and it also says here on the other page, your affiant contacted the defendant Johnson by telephone and scheduled a meeting with the defendant so he could provide a statement explaining his version of the incident. The defendant did not arrive at the scheduled date, time, and location of the meeting, and subsequently has not contacted your affiant. So I guess this was the result of that. It says the complainant stated that he wired $10,000 on June 21st, 2019, $2,000 on June 28th, 2019, $3,000 on August 16th, 2019, and $6,000 on August 21st, 2019 into the JP Morgan Chase account ending in 7163.
Scamming people, just getting money, just taking
was
people
all the
money.
time R. Kelly was getting arrested and all that stuff was on him hot.
Yep. And you know what? I could have sworn he got arrested too the day they swooped in on R. Kelly, and the article got changed. They said, "Oh, it was a different Daryl Johnson or whatever." But I could have sworn they said he had got put in that paddy wagon as well. And anywho, I remember Tasha K interviewed two of the victims that he conned money out of on her show when she was bringing them facts and not lying and victim shaming. And they was saying how he had got them, two women.
Ronnie sent this little 2-minute clip too, so we might as well play it real quick before we head up out of here. Let's get all the information that's out there as much as we can while we together, y'all. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? We in this
Day
together.
2 of closing arguments in the sex trafficking trial of singer R. Kelly.
CBS 2's Alice Gaynor live outside Brooklyn Federal Court with the latest. Alice.
Maurice and Christina, it's a bit loud out here. Some of the singer's supporters are blasting his music. The prosecution began its closing argument yesterday and finished today. It took them more than 6 hours. They went through their case in painstaking detail. The singer shook his head numerous times in reaction to the prosecution. Then the defense began. They allege all the witnesses lied on the stand and that the superstar singer did not have to recruit women as alleged. 6 weeks of testimony, 50 witnesses, 45 for the prosecution and 5 for the defense. The prosecution argues those witnesses and the evidence show that Robert Sylvester Kelly ran an enterprise.
That picture is classic right there.
Yeah.
Hand on his head, his face is all crunched up.
They got, is that Cannon looking like he blue black?
Why did they do that to him? He looked like a ghost, like he's not even really there. Wow.
It makes me think about what Love Warrior said. She said, and
then I'm looking at the board. You know the board behind Getty's? Is that Getty's or whoever? The board next to the judge reminds me of the Boski's board. Remember he had the board he had.
Boski used to do this, y'all. He used to say.
And Goddess, you know how you said the supporters out there are like, because you know they was running like antagonizing the prosecution and heckling and them, and old Dry, now you know she can't hardly move. She way across the street talking about, oh, they mad, they faces all mad. No, damn well.
I'm gonna play a little of that. The people need to hear it. The people need to hear that mess. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say no damn well she couldn't see nobody's face from way across the street and can't walk up behind over there trying to talk about they face all mad. Like, shut up and stop lying.
Look at Judge Ann's face though. She's like, this shit is.
Judge Ann's like, I can't wait to read these damn instructions and get this damn jury up out of here and get his pedo ass locked up, right, so I don't have to see and get my damn courtroom fumigated and get this piss smell out of here and all of that.
In that moment, she looks like she's thinking about dinner.
A nice shower. Yeah.
Like, ready to go home, kick my feet up.
And look at Fafa over there in the corner with that mask on. His hair look like he got a damn cap on his head. Like it's got so much damn set
Oh,
lotion.
they got Pito with his like, oh my God.
That's what I was saying. I don't know why they got Tricky Nikki trying to look like some Kourtney Kardashian. They know good and well she don't look like that.
Okay.
That's maybe it's the mask covering up all the mug.
She got her hands on Rico's thighs trying to calm him down, but you can't see it because.
Are you sure it's his thighs?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She might be giving him a little happy ending.
Mm-hmm. A little.
And that's not canon.
I think that's supposed to be Scholar.
That's Scholar, yeah.
Oh.
Got him over there blue black. That's a damn shame.
He looked like he's halfway not there. Maybe that's kind of a little joke they're trying to say.
Yeah. He looked like he's asleep. Like he leaning to the side.
What's that? Somebody's driver's license up on the picture at the. I'm all in the details.
Right. We have to though. We have to.
Okay, let's finish this. It's only a minute or so here.
Assistants, bodyguards, and others all used to, quote, target, groom, and exploit girls, boys, and young women for his own sexual gratification. Their pictures all displayed on a board in the courtroom surrounding a photo of Kelly. Without that inner circle, prosecutors say he could not have carried out his alleged crimes, and he ruled them with an iron fist. Among the claims detailed at trial, his marriage to the late R&B singer Aaliyah. It's alleged a government worker was bribed to get her a fake ID so Kelly could marry the 15-year-old because he feared he had gotten her pregnant. Witnesses testified about being locked in rooms, having to ask permission to leave or use the bathroom. A handful of witnesses for the defense included former employees and associates who said they never saw Kelly abuse anyone. His lawyers argue the accusers are groupies and stalkers who sought to take advantage of his fame and lied on the witness stand. During its closing argument, one of his lawyers compared R. Kelly to civil rights icon Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., saying they both sought to uphold the Constitution and make the government, quote, be true to what's on paper. The 54-year-old is charged with racketeering. It has 14 underlying crimes associated with it. Kelly is also charged with multiple violations of the Mann Act, which makes it illegal to transport anyone across state lines for any immoral purpose. He has pleaded not guilty. And at last check, the defense was still giving its closing argument. Then comes the rebuttal, and then the judge will charge the jury, and the case will be in their hands. That will likely happen tomorrow. Outside of Brooklyn Federal Court, Alice Weiner, CBS 2 News.
All right, Alice, thank you.
We ready.
Did you see the drawing board? I mean, not drawing board, the display, whatever you call it, with the Enterprise. They had the child at the bottom, y'all looking like Buckley. Did y'all see that?
Who?
The display board with all the pictures.
Oh.
It was one of the faces at the bottom, looked just like off of the old school, the Little Rascals, looked just like Buckwheat. That one of the people that Carter's Enterprise.
And Kel looked like he going bald when he got his hair all slicked back.
But you know what? I just thought about it. The sketch artists have been a drawn ass, y'all. They have been drawing their asses off. Shout out to them.
It's different ones too, right? It's a couple different.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, you could kind of see the difference. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna play a little bit of audio from your favorite guys.
Ain't none of our damn favorite shit.
Guys.
Yeah. Oh Lord Jesus Christ. Oh.
Let's see. Where do we start? This morning.
How in the hell she gonna see somebody damn face across the damn street with that? Good, sit your ass down somewhere and shut up.
She looked like the other octopus. Shit.
So
Look at it, y'all.
For covering you guys up. I don't want the guy to say anything to me.
Oh, she just admitted to hiding her phone.
Oh,
I'm sorry for covering y'all up. I didn't want the guy to say anything to me.
Boom. Oh, see,
never stop being immoral, huh? What'd you say?
We called it. We said she was sneaking shit in. We said it. She was sneaking. We said it. Mm-hmm. Look at it.
Psalms 109.
Oh, this is her
Psalms
prayer
40.
one. Okay, that's a whole prayer video right there. 45 minutes. Oh gosh.
Oh, chills. It was. What did you do? Oh man, you know, turn it down for me. Oh my God. No. Cannon did it, y'all. Hold on, I gotta go.
Cannon did it, y'all.
Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Y'all, I'm telling you, Cannon gave me chills, y'all. He did it, y'all. He did it. Oh my God. Oh, it felt like Cannon really.
She is fucking nuts.
Cannon did it. Oh my God, he is the bomb.
She act like she about to have an orgasm.
Glad I am here. He finished, y'all. He didn't even waste too much time. He went in. And at the end, he played a video with Azriel sitting next to her father, talking about R. Kelly told her to call your parents, and she didn't feel like it, whatever. But you know that video on President? Oh my God, it was the bomb. Panic, never panic, y'all. He told them at the end. He said, "Be courageous. He said, be courageous. Be something else, and then be fair." It was the bomb. Jesus, yes, y'all. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was the bomb, y'all.
Oh God.
It was the bomb. Oh my God. It was like, y'all, it was like watching them, you know, one of those movies at the end. And I felt like clapping at the end. When he finished, when he sat down, I felt like clapping. You know, one of those feel-good movies? You know what I mean? When he dropped the mic, that's the way it was. Al Robert was like, you saw his face. I'm like, I'm excited, y'all. I'm telling you, if it's not guilty, it's a hung jury. There's no possible way this man is going to be found. None. No possible way. Unless somebody got paid. That's the only way I'm telling you, because Canning dropped the bomb.
So now somebody could give, because they did get paid, I think, in the 2008 trial, right?
Yes,
so now
right.
she's turning around to, if he don't get off, somebody must have got paid. Like, she is insane, this woman.
Because she playing both sides. And not only that, I cannot, why do these people keep thinking that this trial is based on Azriel? If Azriel was not in this trial, it will be still going on. I don't care anything about that.
And she probably ready to send her hoo-ha over to Cannick the way she talking about him. She probably done sent it to him already.
Yep, she did.
We had another one that was going crazy. We had another one who was going crazy. Let me see if I can find.
Oh Lord, y'all better be ready, y'all. Y'all better be
ready. Not the one that is a quote, air quote, reporter now.
Yeah,
a damn blogger.
This part, and we got more work to do, y'all. This is one. And
hold on.
Slapping and ropes around.
Arrogance. The false arrogance. They're celebrating, y'all.
It's a turn up, y'all need to get here. Anybody get here? It's officially over in the morning. The jury is going to have the jury's going to get the instructions tomorrow morning, and the deliberations will start about maybe early morning. I'll say before lunchtime, y'all. So, and we stick into it.
Oh, I can't wait till this guilty. Guilty! I can't wait. Guilty!
I can't wait.
Guilty, bitches. He was guilty. I don't care. Y'all can celebrate if you want to. Take your minute. Take your moment. Okay.
We winning.
With her road shoes, he said she had on road shoes. We are the dopest. We are winning, baby. Don't give up, y'all. Listen, we are home.
Yes.
We will be back. Maybe tomorrow. If not, Monday for sure.
We got them, niggas, we riding, blowing shit up. Osama bin
Yeah.
Big plans, big
What kind of woman supports a predator? Like,
niggas, we stopping.
girl.
Praying mantis.
Yes, J-Man. It's Friday in Chicago. Hours away from justice. Yeah.
Here come God is fire. Here come our fire.
Effing dope, bitch. Yeah.
All about the fame, we'll go try some other cold shit. Stacking dollar bills, too much money, I can't fold it. Dope, get up, dope, get up, get up, get up, get up. We the dope,
Get up, get up, get up.
Let's get up, get up, get up. We
win it.
Get up, get up, get up. We the dope. Get up, get up, get up. We the dope. Get up, get up, get up.
All right, y'all. Verse 2. Let's go. First for the money, 2's for the show, 3's for the dope, cause you know we about to blow up. It's cause you niggas ain't listening. First place, so my position is.
I be keeping my city.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's get some hearts to joy.
Yes, hearts to joy.
And
we love you.
And the judge. Let's go. All the other victims and soon to be victims, the children. Yeah. We appreciate y'all. Free joy, baby. On the road to conviction, baby. We are the dopest.
Yes.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Warriors.